Hello, Leo, and welcome or welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and today we're doing August readings. We're just using the tarot this time, the Light Seers Tarot. Ooh, okay. Wowzer. All right. Very cool. Wow, okay. Sorry, I have to do my preamble, but I'm so distracted by what we've got going here. Okay, so the preamble. This is a general reading for a general Leo audience, so please take what resonates for you and leave the rest for another Leo. I invite you to check out the readings for all of your major placements, so your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, for the most resonant experience. Sometimes one or the other is, more resonant for you. But let's see what we've got here. So we're starting with Judgment. So just right off the top, we're seeing Judgment and Death, Rebirth. And then we've got two tens here. So we're seeing endings and beginnings. All of these cards are kind of about starting over, transition, and then we've got the Chariot with a, go go go. So looks like there's some turnover in August, just in time for your birthday, Leo. For those for Leo suns anyway. So let's start with Judgment here. So Judgment is letting yourself out of an old life and into a new life. For me, this often comes with forgiveness, kind of this radical self-acceptance, right? When you let go of what ought to have been, what should have been, what you should have hit by, especially for Leo suns, right? If you're in that birthday place, like I had expected to be thus and so by this age, or have this and thus by this age, if you're in that kind of a mindset at your birthday, letting go of that and just celebrating yourself for who you are and what you've accomplished and what you've done, letting go of everything you expected to have or hoped to have, or didn't accomplish, just embracing how far you've come and what a miracle it's taken to get here, and how thankful you are for going through everything you've gone and persevering to get to this place, and that you get to keep moving forward and try again, try something new. Give yourself another opportunity, or a new chance, or maybe a new career, or a new path. Judgment asks you to kind of step out of an old life, or an old box, or an old concept you have for yourself, and just really give yourself the freedom to expand, to open up, to be the true, vulnerable, honest, complete version of who you are, where you're at right now. And oh my goodness, I apologize if you can hear the sirens in my neighborhood right now. That was dramatic. And with that comes the Ten of Cups, right? This is also a celebratory card. With the celebration of this true, messy, vulnerable, honest version of yourself, letting your tribe, whether it's your family or friends, your chosen family, letting them celebrate this version of you, this whole authentic, true version, this coming out of the coming out of the dark into the light version. You know, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith version of the Judgment card, that's the one where all of the little figures are coming out of the little coffins. I know that sounds kind of dark, but they're freeing themselves from the old life, or they're freeing themselves from confinement, really, the confinement of their old life, and from the dark. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith version, they're also naked. And when characters are naked in the Rider-Waite-Smith version, it's about vulnerability. It's about authenticity. It's about truth. So this character is freeing herself to the light, freeing her a full, true, authentic, natural self. So let that be a touchstone for you in this next phase in August, to just be truly, unapologetically your true, unconfined, unrestricted, unapologetic, vulnerable, messy self, right? And sharing that with your tribe, your family, for those people who have, you know, close family ties, you know, that's great. For some people, you know, maybe blood ties aren't, not everybody is blessed with close ties with their blood relations. You might have a chosen family, or, you know, something like that. But the Ten of Cups also suggests, for some folks, finding a new tribe or making new ties, expanding your tribe. Some people, not all Leos, but might be expanding through birth or pregnancy, something like that. Grandchildren even, that might be a piece. For some people, this could be opening yourself up to a new relationship, or a new, you know, like a new romantic relationship. This could be opening yourself up to a new association, like joining a choir or a cosplay group or something like that. Looking for ways to open yourself up to emotional connections, because cups are the suit of emotional fulfillment, emotional connections, the emotional part of our lives. So, you know, there's just, I mean, this is just such a beautiful way to open this month, right? Opening yourself up, this it's your vulnerability, the truth of yourself, not confining yourself, but by being vulnerable and open and truthful, that you expand your relationships and open yourself up to even a greater sense of community. Now, looking at the next column here, we have a Queen of Cups. This is probably a friend. This may be, let's get her in focus. This could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This could be someone who has, you know, this could be an artistic collaborator, or a friend with artistic, an artistic connection of some kind, because cups can also be the suit of the arts as well, or artistic collaboration. This could also be a therapist or a mentor in that way. And this could be someone like, it could be someone like a boss or an agent, someone who has a job for you in the arts, or in like a choir director, or something like that. We see this character is paired with the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands is typically a celebratory card. Get that in focus. And it usually indicates you've achieved something, you've reached a milestone. This often comes up for something like a a graduation, or I always mention I do a lot of theater, and this comes up for me for opening nights or closing nights, so it could be something along those lines. It sometimes comes up with like an engagement party or something, but it's usually more of something that you have achieved, something that you have put effort into, something you have an ego attachment to, like your healthy ego. So something you have put work into, and often, like I said, there's a creative piece. So it could be a launch of some kind too, like if you've launched something on social media or something, or a product launch or something. It could be something like that. So we see that there's something, again, a celebration of some kind, perhaps with a friend or sister, boss that has helped you with this launch or celebration, whatever this is. Now, interestingly, in this third column here, we have another sort of boss type figure. And again, this King of Pentacles is often a boss, like at a 9 to 5 type job. It could be a financial planner or a friend with a boss energy. He may have a lead for you, or a job for you, or a job advice, financial planning advice, something along those lines. He's usually associated with finances or contracts, financial planning, that sort of thing. And then he is paired with this Ten of Wands, which, as I alluded to earlier, is a card that's kind of about sort of endings and moving on and kind of closing out of cycles. Now, as we talked about with the Four of Wands, the suit of Wands is associated with your ego and your ambition and your drive and things you're excited about. But when we see it at the end of the suit with the tens, it's the closing out of that cycle. So I see that at the end of like a project, often when you're closing out a project. So sometimes this would come up. A good example might be at the end of a calendar year for teachers when they're closing down their classrooms, and after they've done their grading and they're taking everything off their bulletin boards and cleaning up their classroom before going on summer holiday or whatever. Or when you've, if you're like a gig worker and you're finalizing a particular job and sending in your final contract or whatever, there's an ego attachment to whatever project, in that healthy way, to whatever you've done, but you're already looking on to the horizon for your next project, and you're sort of ready to move on to the next thing. So the fact that it's paired with this King of Pentacles, it sort of suggests that there's something here in August that is ending. It could be a job, especially for people who are gig workers, or some other project or association. There's something that you're ready to let go, something that has run its course, and not to worry, because in the very next column we have a death, rebirth, and the start of something new. You're ready to move to something new. So it's going to be different for different Leos as to whatever this cycle that is closing out, and I'm very confident you're going to know what this is. This can also be, as I mentioned over here with opening night, this can also be a card of a closing night too, for those of you who might know what that is. It might be associated with the theater or something. But it's not it's not a tragic thing. It's like, it's just the end of a cycle, of the, just like the calendar kind of, we cycle through a calendar year. This is just something that it's ready to move on, right? So, of course, with death rebirth, I always have to do my caterpillar story with death rebirth. You know how a caterpillar is a creature of the earth until it just hits a particular phase, and it knows to crawl up a leaf and to get up under a leaf and spin its little chrysalis. And when the caterpillar spins its little chrysalis and is contained in there, it becomes goo in the little chrysalis for a couple of weeks. And being in the chrysalis for the caterpillar is actually a little bit painful, and amorphous, and there's a little bit of time where you're just a little bit of nothing until you find that new shape. The caterpillar takes on the new shape and has to bust out of the chrysalis and become the butterfly, and is no longer a creature of the earth, is now a creature of the air, and has to completely interface with the world in a whole new way with wings, and is no longer recognizable as a caterpillar. Everybody who knew the caterpillar as a caterpillar doesn't recognize the butterfly anymore, right? It's a whole new creature. So there's this piece about transformation near the end of the month. There's some part of you that is completely transformed. So as you have left this chrysalis, and you take on these wings, it's go time. The chariot indicates fast forward motion. It's absolute go time. You are in control of the chariot, by the way. This isn't something that the universe does to you. This is you in control, and you going towards a goal, you going to a place that you want to go. And you are in control of the speed, but this is a destination you want to go to, and you are ready to go, and there's no breaks, no limits. This is very exciting. This is a very exciting reading, Leo. I think these two cards are actually very related. This actually feels a little bit like, busting out. It's very much the same process. They're very echoed, and these two are also very similar. There's a celebration with this piece, and it feels like this is the logical next step. After you hit this milestone, whatever it is, it's time to go. And you'll go so fast. And you have support from your tribe. Now, this feels more familiar. This feels more like maybe a boss type. But in any case, I hope you love it, especially for you Leo suns. This looks like a fantastic birthday present. Thank you so much for dropping by. If you enjoyed this reading, I hope you'll leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. In any case, take good care. Bye for now.